So yeah, I'll just share a couple of slides about Coveo. So as he presented, my name is Isabel, Tinoco, my alliance manager for the Sitecore line of business Coveo, and my colleague Vincent is solution architect for Coveo projects. Here, very brief agenda. So Coveo introduction, what we do, who we are, a little bit more close up in the Coveo for Sitecore overview, and then he's going to present machine learning, what we do to enhance personalization, for increased relevance, and more specific for leveraging the Sitecore XT. So this just to break the ice, maybe you've heard and you've seen that now we're at the age of the customer, and we don't have the mobile phone, we want everything at the right time, whatever we're looking for, we're really not patient. So something very interesting to see is that every customer journey is unique, and I'm sure you guys know about that. So for instance, there's one customer that will start with social media and follow up with Adobe. So you don't really know what path they're going through. And something that we help is to understand these customer journeys and to make sure every journey is relevant for each customer. Because not all customers have the same background, the same behavior, and they're not necessarily looking for the same thing. So here, very briefly, like Coveo. So now we're presenting our messaging much more than just search. So we're saying that we bring relevance to every single interaction, whether it's a customer, a partner, or an employee in an organization. So we've done more than 1,500 installs. We are now 300 employees per quarter in Quebec City. We also have an office in Montreal, San Francisco, and in Amsterdam, Europe. We have overall a little bit more than 150 partners all across all line of business and the Coveo platform. And something interesting is that we're growing very, very steady and very nicely thanks to our customers and our partners with their integrations. And here, this slide is pretty key for us. So this is how we bring relevance to every customer, partner, and employee. So first we check all the content. So what are they looking for, and what content do you have available for them across a full and a complete enterprise? Then we check the context. What apps are they using? Where are they coming from? And finally, the behavior. How are they doing it? What are they clicking on? What is likely for them to find? And that's how we find the relevance. And the machine learning, we hear everywhere machine learning, artificial intelligence, etc. But the machine learning that we have is a set of algorithms that learns from all the other visitors. It could be from a website or the employees or the partner communities. It learns what are they looking for, what has successful, and then it provides the next option that we would like to have. So the idea here is to send for a website an Amazon-like or a Google-like experience, especially Amazon when they're recommending. Like you're buying something and then they say other buyers like you bought with this other product or things like that. So that's the idea of the relevance, to be ahead of the game for the visitor and to make sure whatever we're recommending is really appealing and is really relevant to whatever they are, whatever the situation they're in, and whoever they are as a persona. And here, relevance is really impacting the business economics, so it can be applied internally. So here you have different cases that we can help support. So in product intelligence, personalized websites. So this is what Vincent is going to explore and present a little bit more in detail. Some customers community, that's another great use case that we have. Customer service, partner and dealer portals, as well as e-commerce. So all that it's external facing and internal facing, more for the company itself. We have CRM and sales. We have a product native integration with Salesforce as a CRM. Microsoft Dynamics coming later on the fall. For contact center, to make the work easier, employee portals, and as well as intranets. Oops. And here, very briefly, the different products that we currently have. So Coveo for Sitecore, native integration, leveraging the XDB and making the most out of the platform. Coveo for Sitecore, also native integration on the cloud. And Coveo platform, which is a platform that we have, doesn't necessarily need to be connected to Sitecore or to Salesforce. We have a large portfolio of different features already on the cloud. And making sure that you can use Vue.js UI, Coveo Query Engine, Coveo Usage Analytics. We have our own usage analytics for every search that any visitor does, and then those are leveraged by the Coveo machine learning. Instead of tuning manually what's going on in the machine learning, and you're going to know, or customers, they'll know what are they missing in the content, what the visitors that they can find with that machine learning. Also the connectors that we'll see with Vincent, Coveo Index, and of course the cloud infrastructure that we have. And maybe you've seen these. We're very, very excited. We're far away in the magic quadrant. Now it's called implementation. So it's about relevance that they matter. So a little beyond than our friends Microsoft, Tinoco, and another IBM. And also Forrester is it's supporting that. So we're quite excited to be in the leader wave for Forrester as well. And here a little journey, how we started, as we was discussing earlier. So we started as a platform on search, enterprise search only. Then we start having some usage analytics that we have on the cloud, and then these usage analytics with the machine learning, we were bringing even more insight and intelligence. And finally now it's reaching scale with the family products that we have. Coveo for Salesforce, we have free products that they can use. Then you have the Express Entry, Pro, and Enterprise. That's something we're working to offer also in the Coveo for Sitecore product line. Yeah, this one, you know pretty much why make difference Coveo in the Sitecore integrations. So it's relevant implementation is out of the box. It has the usage analytics as well to Coveo, tight integration with Sitecore, so you can open and create those search pages directly in the Sitecore platform. And also a setup, it's really easy to set up, and we're there to support as well. Here's some of the customers. So here you see there are different verticals that are using Coveo. Beyond Coveo for Sitecore and Coveo for Salesforce and Coveo the platform itself. Adobe, Salesforce, those are customers in the software and technology vertical, also financial services, manufacturing, healthcare, and there are other use cases that maybe we haven't explored. We'll be happy to discuss afterward. So yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. Now, Vincent.
So let's see in detail what I'll be looking just for Sitecore solution for sure. And so the solution is a package to install in Sitecore. So you have really the client side and the server side which reside in Sitecore. You have some tools. You have the cloud platform as well that you will be using as developers. And on the client side, you will have all the components that the user will use to trigger queries. So all the facet, the filtering option, the list, all those components that are front end we are providing. And we also are collecting the information of the user that are using those components. So that's how we feed the machine learning algorithm. From the server side, all those components have ranking and relevance edition tools, so all the content author can play with the component without having to code. That's really useful when you want to filter down or boost certain results in your search, or if you want to specialize certain part of your web pages. And you have all the administration tool that is really more for installation and debugging purposes. So if everything, all the green lights you want to see there, and then on the cloud platform you have the usage analytics. So you will see how people in here are collecting information, send that to the cloud, and you're able to analyze those information. We use this information for machine learning purposes, and then you will also be able to see all your query pipelines, do some extensions. So we have certain modules that you can use to create some extension if you want to make even the Sitecore icon richer if you need. So for the UI component, I can stop you whenever you want, and we'll have a look at this after. But I bring a lot of new stuff. I don't know if you already worked with Coveo for Sitecore. Don't think so. I have the new edition tonight, so 4.1 that is still in beta. But I'm pretty confident that we'll work fine. So we have all those components that you can use to build your search interfaces that are already coded. So the facets, the slider, the sorting options, the tab, recommendation component, query suggestion component, and we also have those page view and user context component that will send information to the cloud. So that's really what you drag and drop, or you can call it, you can put it in some placeholder. We have a lot of, it's way more flexible than it was before. So all those components will help you create some search interfaces. If you look at the backend, you will have, for every component, we are fully integrated in Sitecore, so you can customize the behavior of every component. You can see some facet. If you click on it on the experience editor, you will have a lot of options that you can use to customize your interface. Also on the back end, all the administration tools. So we are a search provider inside Sitecore. So you go in the control panel, you press index, and you're pushing the content to the cloud. We're playing inside Sitecore. We're just creating a new index per site, but it's pretty powerful. You can synchronize, you can set up your security cache, all of your permissions, so it's all driven from Sitecore. And we fetch the license as well. Those are the connectors Isabel was talking about. So we have a lot of them. Usually when you implement Coveo for Sitecore, you just press index, so the Sitecore crawler will crawl through every item in the content tree and will push that in your cloud. But you can also use the push API to push some content that is more costly. You can also index YouTube channel, RSS feed, Twitter, web pages. We have web crawler. So if on your web page, on your Sitecore, you also have a blog or other platform that is using WordPress, for instance, you can crawl all that content and push it into the index, which will be with a unique search page. Through that pipeline, because I know things are changing way more faster than I used to. I want it to work faster because there's much different behavior in the week.
Quick question there. So is that different search boxes you would direct? There's different pipelines.
Exactly. You can do it like this. In my example, I will show you. In my example, what I've done is this is the new retail from Sitecore that I'm using. I've just put a full Coveo search bar in the top. So if I'm looking for games, that's my new search interface. We have lazy loading now, so it's really cool. The components are bringing it. So yeah, I can set that search box to point toward a specific query pipeline, or I can set all my pipelines up and intercept some context and dispatch from the cloud. So you can do it directly in Sitecore, but you can do it in the cloud as well, depending on how you want to work. So right now, this is my search page that I've built. It's a little small. So I'm on incognito mode because I want to be interrupted by Sitecore, but I put some facets, and that's all out of the box from Coveo for Sitecore. It's all the stuff was already there in the demo that Sitecore provides, so it was good. I put some sorting on relevancy, price. We have a few facets such as promotion or not, rating. I put a few tabs as well. So it's really responsive. You can see if I'm sorting by different, I have no games in appliance for sure. But if I'm looking for power, for instance, it's really fast. We have a lot of new component that is really cool, such as those facets. You can sort by, you can change your result layout, which is a new functionality we have now. And we have a lot of correction. So that's machine learning. No people are already thinking, so I will correct the user before you even prompt it. So that's that's my basic demo. We've put a global search box in every page of the site. So if we're going into certain categories such as appliance or audio, you will see I've always have my search box. And since Sitecore is trying to provide that search experience across every category, I said I can do the same with Coveo. So I try to build a full search-driven page, which is called TV, where you can see all the product that is in Habitat Retail right now. It's all powered by Coveo. So cool, it's fast, you retrieve your content, but I saw that they had personas, and that's where I see that could be a cool demo to try to match all the potential of Sitecore, the persona, and Coveo. So we'll show you the backend first. Specific place. That's what you're plugging that to your internal ERP or something like that, and that will push all the content in Sitecore. So that's what we index. We index almost. It took 12 minutes to index 10,000 items. So are a part of the indexing manager. So you can just start indexing. Right now I have two sources. Those two sources have 7,000 items. It's not really heavyweight, so it's just 40 meg. And we don't put any filters or nothing. We just index everything. So I have non-relevant stuff right now. Usually I ask my partners and my client to filter down before indexing, so the index is cleaner, but right now it was a demo, so we didn't have much time. We index everything and we're filtering at query time. So when you are doing a query, we're asking just show the item that have a layout and that are specific templates such as product. If you add a source, you see that's the basic version, so you can add push API, you can push whatever you want, you go to the crawler on your computer and push stuff directly to the platform. You can push, you can use the Sitecore crawler, and you can crawl with the web crawler. That being said, if you go to the report section, you will be able to see all the analytics of the usage of the component that we have on front end. So every time a user is going, every time a user is going on the web page and using one of those components and doing an action such as a filtering or just a success such as clicking on something, clicking on a television, we will transmit that information, and you can see act as so right now I'm at carry the kitchen buyer. So I guess I looked from a few appliance while you were in there. So if I look at the developer tools, you will see what's going on behind. So when I'm clicking on something, all the action that we are calling the platform will have that context. Carry the kitchen buyer. I don't know if you see it at the bottom. So we're pushing the context that Sitecore tagged the user. So Sitecore is really good at being able to understand the pattern of the user, because you tag some content, and when you click, you get assigned to a specific pattern card in the context of her query. So in this case, I did an advanced query, so that's Coveo stuff. I click on something, I filter more the result sets, but I have access to that persona. So in my cloud platform here, when I'm looking at every query every day from every country, I'm able to know what kind of people in Sitecore did those queries. So I'm able, for Garrett, the teen gamer, I can just filter the whole interface down to that specific persona. So I'm able to know where Garrett, in which country Garrett will live, what he's looking for, and what keywords he's using, even what type of computer he's using. So you see Garrett is looking for high definition, audio, price, speaker. He's looking for those documents. Garrett is coming from the United States. And that's really cool because you get all the tabs of the analytic filtered down with that specific persona of Sitecore. But I want to go.
So does the Coveo Cloud automatically suck the profiles from Sitecore, or was Sitecore doing all the work and just passing that string?
He's passing the string to Coveo Cloud because you're using Sitecore XDB to.
in like any special connection, like or any additional steps. So if I set up a new persona, it's like
no. The only thing you need to do is put on every page, such as your layouts. If you want to have it on every page, you push the component, and that's done. And you need two components to do recommendation, because that's where I want to go. You need to put the page view, because recommendation is not about search. With machine learning, you can provide better search results, or you can put accurate search results from a persona perspective. But if you want to recommend something, you need to understand how people behave on the website. So that's the page view component. So it will just track down the journey and try to short that journey down. So people like you did a few clicks and end up there. So I can make that path go faster by proposing to you or to people like you actually to go there faster. So that will be a little layer on the presentation. But yeah, so far the only thing you need to do is to add that component, and it will transmit to Coveo Cloud the pattern. Machine learning don't need it actually, because we're dropping a cookie for every user that uses search interface, and we are able to track them. And after times, the algorithm will do bucket of people and will propose specific results for certain users. But it's way better when you couple it with Sitecore XDB. So I've shown you this beautiful analytics that you can segment with your Sitecore XDB persona. Now, when you're pushing that content into the cloud, here, when you click on a specific product, on the product page, we put the latest component that we have developed. It's called recommendation. So the recommendation will provide some, my templates are really good. I will show you another one. So yeah, it will gather information across different users, where they go, what they're looking for, and it will provide some suggestion based on what they've done, what they've looked like. So it's not really beautiful. Does it work? Sorry, I'm still in demo construction. But overall, it's a different query pipeline. So there it is. So it's a different query pipeline. It looks at the user behavior. So we're still pushing that context to the cloud. And if you look at your cloud platform here in the query pipeline, I have a special pipeline for recommendation that is a little different. So I put an algorithm called give recommendation. And if you have a look at it, my training set is daily. So right now, since I don't have much data, we're faking all the information with the UA bot, because I don't have any people going right there on that website. So we're pushing a lot of content, and that's why my recommendation model is kind of a little busy sometimes. So I need to update it daily. But usually you don't do that because it's way too fast for the algorithm to learn. You need to have much more data. So that's the recommendation component. You can export all the information you saw on those dashboards. So if you need, I have geographical analysis. So you can see from every country, every city, what people are looking, what they are searching for. And you can export all that information. So you can see, I have a lot of Garrett, or I will look at Carrie, the kitchen buyer. So Carrie is from Quebec, cool, and from Philadelphia. That was me when I was at the autumn. And he's looking for refrigerator, kitchen, power, counter. So that's really cool. You can see what kind of people is going on your web page, what are they doing. And even more, with the machine learning algorithm, it will understand what people are looking for and will try to provide better results based on those personas. So if you are, I will just wipe that down and start a new one. So when you start, oh, do I have two open? Just want to wipe my session, my XDB session. I'm going to wipe it here. So if you wipe down all your cookies, it will lose track of me, I guess. It will lose me. Yep. So I will try to assign myself another profile, such as the gamer. And what we've done is we assign different pipelines and make them learn differently. So depending on the persona you are, you will have different results, and that's not a big boost. We put something reasonable, but when you are looking for something really specific, such as a power switch, in an electronic shop, power, everything has powers. Microwave has power shift, power switch, MP3 players, computers. But I know the user is a gamer actually, so I want to propose a power for the new GameCube that he's buying. So that's the kind of experience we want to have. So if you just travel across, you will be able to have a new profile assigned, such as Garrett. If I'm looking for power,
see that all the
results are from the gaming section. So it's such a generic query. So if I go down, I will probably have other stuff. But right now, on my, I'll just put more results. So right now, all the results are from the gaming category. So I know that he's a gamer and he's probably looking for something like that. But you see, I have some appliance, some audio, some other power. But since from a relevance perspective, that word is the same across all results, I want to be able to understand a little bit better how it's working. So I'm looking at the persona, I'm giving them a different query pipeline, making learn. And now I know that when the user is a gamer, that's probably those kinds of items he's looking for. But if I'm changing my user to something else, such as a home buyer, I don't know, or something a little bit more different from the gamer. So I'm looking at fridge.
I've been looking a lot
at this website for a few days.
So if you go
inside those products, I know it will change my behavior to Harry, the home buyer. So now if I'm looking for something such as Wi-Fi, it will propose stuff that are house perspectives, such as a thermostat, light switch, before going to more regular results. So it really learns and understands what kind of persona. That's the perfect example when you have fully persona with Sitecore XDB, but only with machine learning you can achieve close to that kind of result. So to really personalize the kind of result people are seeing, finding the information way faster using those. So I think that's all for me. Do you have any questions or something you want me to show you with the product?
So particularly for the search components, I mean, clicking on a particular result is one very obvious, data point for the machine learning. Is there a way to feed it more, into conversions? For example, I want to notice, all right, this journey clicks on it, that's initially a good sign, but if they don't do anything with it, then it might not have been what they wanted. For something like an add to cart and going through the full buying cycle, is there a way to project those further conversion points to Coveo?
Yeah, completely. And that's what we want to prove to people. In the Salesforce environment, we're really strong on providing KPIs, since it's really easy to understand that somebody wanted to open a support case and finally got a result and just went away. So you save one phone call. In commerce, it's a little harder, but yes, you can transmit those kind of things. We can bind to any component and send information to the cloud. So we will know that you have more add to click if people are using Coveo than not, because you will be able to measure people add to cart without and with Coveo machine learning recommendation, or only with search. Searching or adding more to their cart. That's the kind of things you can measure. Sure. It's so hard to code that behavior. I don't have any traffic on that web page. I cannot show everything. But yeah, I asked a good client of us, which is in e-commerce, to do those kind of measures, so we will be able to track and understand if people are looking for something, or if the result is higher in the result list, does that mean people are buying it more? That's the kind of conclusion I'm trying to understand right now.
Those
Components, I've been going a little quickly on it, but right now on the new version of Coveo, if you're looking at the home page, those components are now fully customizable. They are construct with data sources, so you can reuse those components across your website. And if you're looking at the experience editor, you will see how it reacts. So from a content author perspective, it's really cool. You can provide some list-driven content and just click on a few, you can filter down so I have customers that are using Coveo results list just to show results, like show me just the news. So when you enter a web page, you have a list of news and you can filter if you want them to be specific to a certain persona or whatsoever. So that's how it looks in edition mode. All the components I've shown you, all the interface can be edited directly from a content author. So you can change the field that is looking the value if you want more or less, the sorting options. We really have a lot of options available for the tabs, for everything. So it's really easy to compose with.
Do you have any other questions?
Do you have any other questions?
In regular, you see where you have index strategies that you set up. So on publishing, you can publish just the item that was updated. Out of the box with Coveo, you have sample configuration files.
Yeah. Out of the box, we provide a lot of config, but in my case, I will show you the one I use for this website. That's not a good one. So yeah, out of the box, we use asynchronous technology to just, when you save an item, it's just push to the cloud. So you do a full re-index at the beginning of a project, but after you just stay live and up to date from master and web index, or you can have more if you want. And you can split your index if you want as well, to have smaller index to re-index. But by default, every move that is done will be pushed to the cloud, so it's always up to date. It's really easy to maintain. I can show you from the back end, when you create it,
You have a folder, and
inside that folder you have a bunch of config files. We ask people to play with Coveo search provider.custom, that config, not to play with the real one. I guess I can open it directly in my browser.
It's the first time I tried it.
It's the first time I tried it? Oh yeah. So it's a little hard to read though. So that's what it looks like out of the box. We ask you to define certain fields that you want to make fastable or sortable.
Because we take all
The fields and we push them to the cloud. So that's the plug and play way of doing it. You take all the fields of every item that will be indexed, we push everything to the cloud and all those index. But sometimes you have some specificity that you want to maintain, so you are able to determine certain fields, some computed fields, such as the image in my demo wasn't working out of the box. It was referenced something. I need to do a little bit of tricks to have it work. And you can, after that, set all your crawlers to what kind of route you want them to be, and it's really specific, but it's fully customizable.
And for the web crawler,
Yep.
If you were to re-index, you can see you had a WordPress blog and a Sitecore site. You can set it up for both URLs, and then if you re-index all your content, does it do a swapper, or are you without search results for 10 minutes?
That's a good question. That's really a strong feature of the product. We're never down. So actually, we push everything, we update what's need to be updated, and we do the delta at the end if something needs to be deleted or not, or added. So it's never down. It's always working. It's always up. And you don't have downtime, never.
That's a
cool feature because it's really hard to achieve, but with Coveo, it's the same for all line of business. We maintain that kind of delta checkup at the end. And in this example, I don't have much, but if this is my dev environment, you give me more access in this org, and you can set some different strategies. So that was my push API. I pushed some stuff in there, but you can just add whatever you want. And for every of those sources, crawler style, you choose your schedule yourself. So I want to crawl that blog of mine that is not on Sitecore every week or every day or every minute. If you're crazy, you can do it really whatever you want. And all those internal, that's more for Coveo Search Enterprise. So Google Drive bots, those are more repository. You don't want to expose that necessarily on your website. connector. I see a lot of people using it, and you can set your schedule directly. Easy to set up. Actually, you do the URL you want to crawl. You can put some inclusion filter. You can put some expat specific to have some fields. And then after that, you put a schedule, and it's ready to go. And all of that process of installing Coveo for Sitecore, creating those orgs in the cloud, and starting the index can be done in about 20 minutes. So it's really fast. And for a project, you can save a lot of time by using those default components. So I have clients who are just calling directly the platform to get JSON response and are building everything themselves, but you don't have the machine learning, you don't have the analytics, there's a lot of stuff you don't have if you're doing it that way. So we propose to, if you want that experience, you use the component that we have. Those components that you saw in Sitecore are the Coveo GSU. So it's on GitHub. It's free. Actually, you can fork it. You can do whatever you want with it. It's fully open source. So we encapsulated those components inside Sitecore to provide some useful dashboard and to help people customize the component. So if you go that route, you cannot use the ranking editor and all the stuff that we have in Sitecore that is cool, like from the list of template, you can choose the item. But if you have an external website and you still want to access to your search, you can plant that and you will still be able to connect to your cloud org. Multiple sites. We don't care how many sites you use it. Licenses with query per month and with a number of items. So Isabel told it a little bit earlier, but you have access to all the pricing on Coveo.com for every edition. We have a free version on-prem, which is a little hard to maintain, but still we have a lot of clients running the free edition. And you can spawn a free trial for 30 days. If you have a Sitecore license, you can spawn a trial and just try it. You can just spawn a new one when it's finished. You can run on free trial indefinitely if you're really wild. So that's it. And you can invite a lot of people in your org, so you can have the people in your organization to have a look at the reports if you want them to have a conclusion. So clients that have a big traffic, it's really cool to see the analytics section that are really full of data. Do you have any more questions?
So is the cloud edition is just like one, like tiers? Can you show some of the?
Yeah.
And most of this stuff that you're talking about from a machine learning perspective and all that, that's only available in the cloud?
Yes. Now you have analytics on-prem, so we spawn an org even if you're on-prem, fetch the license and to push the analytics, but you won't be able to have any machine learning. So addition and pricing, Isabel, want to take the lead for that?
So you have, now it's more the consumption model pricing that we have, so it'll depend the traffic and the volume per month and the content to be indexed. So here you have the Pro Cloud and the Enterprise Cloud. The key difference here is the XDV personalization that the Enterprise is the last one. The Enterprise Cloud license will include it, and of course there are more query per month capacity, so 3K, and content indexed. If you go beyond that, we won't unplug. We'll let you know, and then we can see we have some other packages in case you wanna add some more volume. But that's something we can discuss without disconnecting your customer. And so as you can see here, machine learning included in the Pro Cloud and the Enterprise Cloud. But if you have some customers still on-premise, we offer some on-premise editions as well. So those are more attached to the Sitecore instances that you have, so far production, non-production. But we're trying to guide more and more to the cloud because it's there that you have even more value out of the machine learning of these products. So, yeah.
The content index, that's pages?
It's items, so it can be pages. If the item have an HTML body, it could be considered as an HTML item, but it can be whatever. You can index straight text, or in Sitecore it's not HTML, it's just Sitecore items, so it's just an XML block. But we have processors that for every item that have a layout, we'll call the server and fetch the HTML to index the full page. So you will have free textable full pages as like the user are seeing. It depends. It's pretty configurable.
So I would say there's a lot of times with the way you architect Sitecore, the items, the page zone, they go
Exactly. So what I'm doing, actually for every project, I'm kicking them off. So I'm telling people how they should use it in their context. And in that context, you want to index only the item that have a layout. So when you have a layout, it will be composition. So you will be able to exclude the items that don't mean nothing without a context, without being included in something bigger. So usually the number of items goes down drastically when you do that kind of filtering. Because sometimes I have like 103 items, but when we apply the filter, it goes down to 1,000 or 100, 4,000 items.
You're still able to index what's on those items without a layout.
Exactly. Exactly. It will index the page, but the best way to index in Sitecore is the HTML processor that we have. So every item that have a layout will call the front end library HTML.
So it goes out like a web crawler.
Yeah, exactly. So you will have still the full fields of the item, but the body will be available. So you can have the quick view function and other cool features.
And you said use XPath so you can based on
HTML. That's with the crawlers. That's with the crawler. With Sitecore crawler, it's really a search provider in Sitecore and C# that's go through all the elements. So that's really different.
So you have the content body that we populate with all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and another cool feature for the enterprise cloud, besides the XDB-based personalization, we also have a Coveo ranking editor. I don't think we show it. We can see, but that one also you can use alongside with the machine learning. Machine learning is leveraging whatever it's the results are successful, but then the ranking editor allows you to boost. Like if you have a special promotion, you can bring it on.
Yeah, ranking editor is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So in my Coveo search page, all the items are going through a data sources here. So I have a beautiful folder with all the components and all the settings for those components. For the search page, which is a search interface, if you go here, you will have all those things. Like in my search page that I've just shown you earlier, I'm just looking at items where the template is commerce product. So I filter down because there's a lot of stuff that I don't want it, such as in a 404 page or a help page or a logging page. There's a lot of stuff I don't want to search, but sometimes people want. And here you have the boost. So you can really say, I want to, if the specific field such as, or whatever, you have a picture here, so you can really, if the price list is compare, let's see. So you have a lot of power to choose from. Hey, that's low. Content string is like matches regular expression, so is equal to $10. Add 500 to the document. So every item that will have a price of $10 will be. That's not a good rule. Don't do that in your commerce site. But it's an example, and it's really cool. So I see people adding a field like promotion, is on sale, something like that, and they boost that document to the top of the list because they want to promote or discounting items, or I don't know, you just receive a new product, you want to put it on the top of the page. You can do it by this use the interface, and you can also, but it's way more complex, you can do it with the cloud platform as well. In your query pipelines, you have control on certain aspects, such as, so you can intercept if the rating is greater than 3, then do some modification, but it's less intuitive because you're not in Sitecore, you're not in your environment, and the content author like to have the full Sitecore experience, they're used to it.
you can promote something
with a date, or even with persona. So if the item have a specific key or profile, so it's really complex tool, and that's only available with the enterprise version. So if you don't have it, you can code it in JavaScript as well if you want.
And
An amazing feature is also the automatic boosting. So I've done it for this demo. So if I know that the user is a certain persona, I will boost all the items having those keys based on the level of likeliness of those keys based on the persona. So it's really cool. But I don't have a lot of customers using the full platform, so it's not the most used function yet, but it's still available and it's working really well. Do you have any other questions? I think we're done. So thank you guys. Thank you for your...
Thank you.
Hey, can you hear me? Why don't you keep the computer here to